A woman in her late 40s had been bloated every single day for 11 years. She had been to 4 different gastroenterologists. She had done elimination diets, cut out gluten, cut out dairy, tried expensive probiotic supplements, drank apple cider vinegar every morning, and even gone on a low FODMAP plan so restrictive that she was basically eating plain rice and boiled chicken. Nothing worked. Her stomach would swell up so badly after lunch that she kept a second pair of pants at her office because the ones she wore in the morning would not fit by 2 in the afternoon. Then her niece, who happened to be studying nutrition science, told her to try something so simple it sounded almost ridiculous. She told her to take 4 specific seeds, just regular seeds you can buy at any grocery store for a few dollars, and start adding them to her meals. Not as a supplement, not as a pill, just actual seeds, sprinkled into food she was already eating. Within 5 days, the bloating that had tortured her for over a decade started to disappear. Within 2 weeks, it was gone. And it has not come back. Now, I'm not telling you this story to sell you some miracle product. I am telling you this because what happened to her is backed by clinical trials from real hospitals and published in real medical journals, and most doctors simply never mention it because nobody makes money when the solution costs less than the price of a cup of coffee. If you stay with me until the end of this video, I am going to walk you through exactly which 4 seeds she used. I am going to explain the science behind why each one works in a completely different way inside your gut. And I'm going to tell you exactly how to use them so they actually do their job. This video is going to change your life forever if you let it. Let us start with the seed that people in the Middle East, India, and Pakistan have been chewing after heavy meals for thousands of years, long before any scientist ever studied it. Fennel seeds. Those tiny green or yellowish seeds sitting at the bottom of most spice racks are rarely thought about by anybody in the Western world. Here is what makes fennel seeds so remarkable, and why modern science is finally catching up to what ancient cultures figured out by experience. When you eat a meal and your stomach starts bloating, what is actually happening inside you is a traffic jam. Food enters your stomach, but instead of moving smoothly downward into the small intestine, where it gets absorbed, it sits there. It lingers. Gas builds. The muscles in your stomach wall tighten and cramp. Pressure rises, and you end up feeling like someone is inflating a balloon inside your abdomen. Fennel seeds fix this by doing something that no single pharmaceutical drug on the market does. They have what scientists call a region-specific dual action on the stomach. A study published in the journal Neurogastroenterology and Motility tested fennel tea on different sections of the stomach and discovered something fascinating. In the upper part of the stomach, called the fundus and corpus, fennel relaxes the muscles, it releases the pressure, and calms the tightness. But in the lower part of the stomach, near the exit where food is supposed to leave and enter the small intestine, fennel does the exact opposite. It increases the strength of the contractions, essentially pushing food out faster. So it calms the top and accelerates the bottom at the same time, which is precisely what a bloated gut needs. This happens because the active compound in fennel, called anethole, works directly on the smooth muscle calcium channels, which are the same pathways that pharmaceutical antispasmodics target, except fennel does it without any side effects. And the results are not subtle. A double-blind clinical trial compared fennel capsules head-to-head against dimethicone, which is the active ingredient inside Gas-X and most over-the-counter bloating medications. Both groups experienced virtually identical reductions in flatulence and gas. Fennel performed just as well as the drug. The simplest way to use fennel seeds is to chew about half a teaspoon slowly after your biggest meal of the day. You can also lightly crush them with the back of a spoon and steep them in hot water for about 5 minutes to make a quick tea. Either way, the anethole is delivered directly to your digestive tract, where it gets to work immediately. Do this after dinner every night, and within a few days, most people feel a dramatic difference. Now, here's where things get really powerful, because the second seed does not just relieve gas, it physically transforms the environment inside your gut. Ground flax seeds are one of the most underrated digestive healers that exist, and the reason comes down to something called mucilage. When ground flax seeds come into contact with water inside your digestive system, they produce a thick, slippery gel. If you have ever stirred ground flax into a glass of water and watched it turn slightly gooey after a couple of minutes, that is mucilage forming. That gel does something extraordinary once it is inside you. It coats the walls of your intestines almost like a soothing layer of protection over irritated skin. If your gut lining is inflamed, which is one of the hidden causes of chronic bloating that almost nobody talks about, this mucilage calms that inflammation on contact. When your intestinal wall is swollen, even mildly, the passage narrows. Transit slows down. Gas gets trapped. And you end up with that heavy, distended feeling that will not go away no matter what you eat or avoid. A clinical trial tested flaxseed on 90 adults with chronic constipation and found that after just 4 weeks, the median constipation severity score dropped from 14 out of 30 to 6.5, which is more than a 50% improvement. Patients reported dramatically less bloating, more regular and comfortable bowel movements, and their defecation frequency jumped from 2 times per week to 7. Flaxseed actually outperformed lactulose, which is the standard pharmaceutical laxative prescribed by doctors. But there is a second layer to what flax does that goes even deeper. Flax seeds are the richest plant source on the planet of compounds called lignans. Your gut bacteria take these lignans and convert them into a powerful anti-inflammatory molecule called enterolactone. Research has shown that enterolactone directly protects the tight junctions in your intestinal lining, which are the microscopic seals between your gut cells that prevent toxins and bacteria from leaking into your bloodstream. When those seals are damaged, you get what is often called leaky gut, and one of the hallmark symptoms is persistent bloating. Enterolactone from flaxseed helps repair those seals from the inside. The critical detail most people miss is that you must grind your flax seeds before eating them. If you swallow them whole, they pass straight through your body completely undigested because neither your teeth nor your stomach acid can crack that tough outer shell. Buy them pre-ground or use a coffee grinder, store them in the freezer to keep the oils from going rancid, and add 2 tablespoons a day to whatever you are already eating. Stir them into oatmeal, blend them into a smoothie, or simply mix them into a glass of water, wait 2 minutes until it thickens slightly, and drink it down. That thickness is the mucilage forming, and it is exactly what your gut needs. The third seed targets a mechanism of bloating that is completely different from the first 2, and it involves water regulation inside your digestive tract. Chia seeds are tiny black or white specks that do something almost magical when they hit liquid. They absorb between 10 and 27 times their own weight in water, forming a soft, gel-like substance that your gut bacteria absolutely love. About 90% of the carbohydrates in chia seeds are pure fiber, roughly 5 grams in just 1 tablespoon. When this gel reaches your colon, bacteria like Bifidobacterium and Lactobacillus ferment it and produce short-chain fatty acids, including butyrate, which is the single most important fuel source for the cells that line your colon. Those cells depend on butyrate for 70 to 80% of their energy. When they are well fed, they maintain a strong barrier, keep inflammation low, and keep gas moving through instead of getting trapped. A long-term study found that chia consumption actually increased the thickness of the intestinal muscle layers and the depth of the intestinal crypts, which are the areas where new gut cells are born. In simple terms, chia does not just soothe your gut, it structurally strengthens it over time. A recent study confirmed that chia seed mucilage acts as an effective prebiotic, improving gut microbiome composition and metabolic outcomes in both adults and young children. Now here's the one warning that matters. If you dump 3 tablespoons of chia seeds into your system on day 1 without ever having eaten them, you will probably feel more bloated, not less. That gel absorbs so much water so quickly that it can overwhelm a gut that is not used to it. The solution is simple. Start with 1 tablespoon per day for the first week. Soak the seeds in water for at least 10 to 15 minutes before consuming them so the gel forms outside your body rather than expanding inside your stomach. Add them to smoothies, overnight oats, or yogurt. After a week, you can increase to 2 tablespoons. This gradual approach lets your gut bacteria adapt, and the bloating relief builds steadily instead of backfiring. The fourth seed is the one most people would never guess has anything to do with digestion, and it might be the most important of all because it fixes a problem that affects roughly 1/3 of the human population without them even knowing it. Pumpkin seeds. Most people think of pumpkin seeds as a casual snack you eat at Halloween, but a single ounce of pumpkin seeds delivers nearly 40% of your daily magnesium and a significant dose of zinc, and both of those minerals play a direct role in whether or not your gut bloats. Magnesium relaxes smooth muscle, and your entire digestive tract is made of smooth muscle. When you are deficient in magnesium, and most people are because modern soil is increasingly depleted of it, the muscles in your intestinal walls become tighter than they should be. They cramp, they spasm. Food and gas move through more slowly. A study confirmed that increasing magnesium causes a dose-dependent relaxation of gastrointestinal smooth muscle, meaning the more magnesium present, the more those muscles relax, and the faster things move through. But the zinc story is even more dramatic. A study published in Nature Communications by researchers at King's College London discovered that zinc works through a sensor called the aryl hydrocarbon receptor to strengthen the tight junctions in your intestinal lining. They fed mice a zinc-rich diet combined with compounds from cruciferous vegetables and found that the mice were almost completely protected from inflammatory bowel disease. The zinc allowed gut cells to seal themselves more tightly, preventing the leaky gut that triggers chronic inflammation and bloating. But when they fed mice a zinc-deficient diet, the protection vanished entirely. Zinc is literally the building material your gut uses to repair its own walls. A small handful of raw pumpkin seeds every day, roughly 1 ounce, gives you both the magnesium to relax the muscles and the zinc to repair the barrier. You can eat them plain, toss them onto a salad, mix them into a trail mix, or sprinkle them over oatmeal alongside your ground flaxseed and chia. Here is why this combination is so powerful. Each of these 4 seeds attacks a completely different cause of bloating. Fennel relaxes the upper stomach and speeds up gastric emptying, so food does not sit there producing gas. Flaxseed coats and soothes an inflamed gut lining while its lignans repair damaged tight junctions from the inside. Chia absorbs excess water, feeds your beneficial bacteria the fiber they are starving for, and structurally strengthens your intestinal walls over time. And pumpkin seeds deliver the 2 minerals, magnesium and zinc, that your gut muscles and gut barrier need to function properly, but are almost certainly not getting enough of. Together, these 4 seeds cover virtually every mechanism that causes chronic bloating, from trapped gas, to slow motility, to gut wall inflammation, to leaky tight junctions, to bacterial imbalance, to mineral deficiency, and none of them require a prescription, a doctor visit, or an expensive supplement. They cost a few dollars, they sit in your kitchen, and they work.